The big question, can an iPad actually replace your laptop? For most people, probably not, but if you know these tricks and workflows, get surprisingly close. Real quick, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. I'm sorry, I've seen so many videos talking about whether or not iPad or iPad Pro can fully replace a laptop. For many, it can, and others, you just need to know what to do. And it's a question that I still get all the time. Here, I'm going to show you my top tips to get the most out of your iPad, whether or not you intend to replace a laptop or not. Starting out, I highly recommend using some sort of docking station. iPad Pro actually has a full-fledged Thunderbolt port on the side, which means you can connect a Thunderbolt dock to it. Think what that means. You get a ton of expandable I/O to expand your capabilities. Literally in my workflow, I plug it into a CalDigit dock, which also feeds into my studio display as a secondary monitor. Then I have a second Thunderbolt dock plugged into the CalDigit one. I use the Lexar Professional Workflow Docking Station that gives me 6 hot swappable bays and a bunch of USB-C ports. So I have CF Express card reader for my Nikon, SD and micro SD card readers for other cameras, and then a bunch of SSDs that I can pull out and just bring with me. I used it when I did my Creator Studio review. I love the idea of having a half dozen drives connected to my iPad at my desk that I can also just take with me. I can just bring the whole thing. I'm not saying everyone needs as much storage or as complicated setup as that, but I think a Thunderbolt or USB-C dock can open a bunch of other options for users. It can be much more simple, and you can connect microphones, internet, wired headphones, card readers, drives, displays, and more with a dock. Let me know in the comments what accessories you like to connect to your iPad. Even if it's none, I want to know what people are using this Type-C port for. You guys may remember my sponsor EIP, but their 2026 lineup is a total game changer. Their theme this year is create your own shortcut. They built an entire ecosystem around the EIP app that lets you customize your iPad experience like never before. First, the hyper keys. With the EIP app, you can customize keys for GoodNotes, Notability, Procreate, and iPadOS. This allows for you to quickly switch between pen, eraser, or system shortcuts like search bar, screenshot, or Siri. Besides, the Click Anywhere trackpad is a game changer. No more struggling with those cheap trackpads that only click at the bottom. There's also a huge upgrade, a magnetic buckle with a pen sleeve so you never lose your stylus like Apple's Magic Keyboard. Next is the Pencil X. It comes with an extra metal nib for better writing feel. Plus, you can adjust the tip signal strength, which gives you granular control over the responsiveness of your stylus and is only something EIP offers. Plus, you can customize sleep timers for both the pencil and keyboard to save battery, and customize the tail button with a single or double tap. Finally, the Nano 2 Paper Feel Screen Protector. It's reusable and detachable. It stays in place for writing and peels off easily for clear viewing. It delivers a premium matte feel and blocks most of the blue light to protect your eyes. High-end, customizable, and affordable. Check the link below to upgrade your iPad. Segueing here, I think displays are also criminally underused with iPad. Apple added basically full support for external displays, and yet not enough people use them. You pair a keyboard and mouse with your iPad, you're more than doubling that screen real estate. As you saw, I use it at my desk with that studio display, but that's not all you can use. It can be basically any external monitor, and you don't even need to use a dock. I'm loving this new espresso display that is super portable, so I can use it at my desk or fold the whole thing up and take it with me. If I was still in college, I'd love to be able to take some sort of setup like this with me into the library to get work done with peace and quiet. My third tip is tackling a new feature found in iPadOS 26, the windowing interface. This is a huge subject, and I'm only going to go into some of the bigger points that I think are crucial to understand. Apple gives users the choice of the existing Stage Manager interface or a new windowed interface. Personally, I love the new windowed option. It's very similar to working straight on Mac OS. You can resize windows, reposition them, they can overlap, and it works great, of course, with an external display when you have more space. Seriously, something big connected to your iPad, it's amazing. You can also open multiple instances of apps at the same time in this windowed interface, like Safari, Notes, Files. You long hold or right click on the app icon and hit New Window. If you tap and hold on the stoplight icons in the corner in each app, you can also resize windows easily too, like putting them into split view or slide over. Plus, you can move stuff between all of these apps. Just drag images, files, text, etc. between your open windows. While working in an app, you can also now access a handy menu bar from the top. I love this. Just pull down from the top edge and you get a whole menu with different options. These are all app specific. It's again like Mac. My favorite part of this is that you can see these actions and what the keyboard shortcuts are for them. One setting I'd also recommend checking is in Settings, Multitasking, and Gestures. Make sure Automatically Show and Hide Dock is turned on. If this is off, the dock will always be hidden unless you swipe to the bottom or move the cursor there. I find it a better experience, especially with that larger external display, to have a dock always there. It's always available to you when you need it. If you open a window big enough, it will automatically hide, but overall, I just think it helps to have it visible, especially if you have stuff tied into it and like bookmarked. Let me know in the comments if you've tried this new windowed interface and what you think of it. I'm curious if anyone else is as big of a fan of it as I am. Finally, I want to call it the Files app. I think having a true file system is key for people to maximize their workflow on iPad. Like, it's something that you use a ton, and a lot of people still barely even touch the Files app. On computers, people need access to cloud storage locations, their local storage, their downloads, all of that stuff. While Files app can still use some work, it has honestly gotten so much more capable. Just to cover the basics, the left-hand navigation shows all of your different file structures that you can dive into. You can filter by things like recent and shared right there at the top. There are different locations, such as your local files or ones still in iCloud. And just by literally downloading apps from the App Store, you can access third-party cloud storage here in one central location. And that works with all the popular ones like Dropbox and Google Drive here. If you have external storage connected, that will show here too under these locations. And now Files even lets you format or erase external drives and memory cards. If you're looking at your iCloud files, cloud files, you can tap and hold on it and tell it to keep those files downloaded. Before you'd access it, then it would just delete it again when it thought you were finished. No, now you can actually keep them saved. I do this with a lot of the files I frequently use, like for the podcast, so I can still easily use them when I'm on the go and maybe don't have internet access. And you can mark folders as favorites, like my folder of artwork for the podcast or for AppleInsider. There are two little-known features of Files I want to leave you with here. First, you can show extensions. It seems like a small thing, but it makes it, again, more like the Mac, which I think is what a lot of people want in an iPad experience. By going to the little squares in the corner of Files, you can go to View Options and toggle on Extensions. Now you can easily see what something is before opening it. Finally, save your frequently used folders to your dock. Just drag and drop them down to the dock and you can always have quick access. Super handy, especially for people who deal with a lot of files. Now, honestly, there's no limit to kind of how I could keep going in this video. We could talk about shortcuts and using AI agents and Apple Intelligence and stuff on iPad. There's a lot that we could do, but I think these are really great and powerful starting points for whether or not you're kind of just trying to make the iPad work, or you're already using it a lot, but you maybe need a few more tips to get it the rest of the way there to make it a true workhorse of a machine. iPad Pro has just gotten crazy, and even the other iPads using M-series chips are also very, very powerful. I am super impressed at how far iPad has come at this point in its product lifespan. Let me know what you guys think of iPad and iPadOS and how much you can actually get done on there down below in the comments. Otherwise, follow for more Apple news and I'll see you all in the next video.